Welcome back to Fox Explainer. Today I'm going to show you a 2003 docudrama survival film called Touching the Void. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Watch out and take care. The goal of every alpinist is to climb to heights that have never been reached before. Simon Yates and Joe Simpson tried to be the first people to climb the west face of Chula Grande, which is 6,244 meters high, in 1985. The cliff is in the Andes, which are in Peru. A friend of theirs told them it would be hard. No one had done it yet. When they go to Peru, Joe is 25 and Simon is 21, and they have both climbed a lot in the Alps. Simon and Joe also bring along Richard Hawking, who has never done this before. He stays at base camp and waits for them when they get back. They get to a place that is far from the road and is 2 kilometers away. They chose the alpine style, which involves climbing the mountain while carrying a backpack. There's no help if something goes wrong. The trip gets them excited. Joe and Simon say that when they climb mountains, there are no rules or limits and they feel free. On the first day, they climb the first 300 meters very quickly, but then the cliff gets more dangerous and the climb gets harder. In alpinism, you depend on your partner for everything. If he falls and the anchors break, both of you will die. At the end of the first day, the main characters are happy with how fast they have climbed, so they are sure they will make it. At those heights, it's easy to get thirsty, and the only way to get water is to melt snow. Since it takes so long, they don't drink as much as they should each day, which is 4 or 5 liters. Because the ice is unstable, it gets hard to climb up it. The temperature drops by a lot, and fresh snow slides down the wall in avalanches. In the last 300 meters of that area, where the snow is unstable, climbing is a nightmare. 60 meters takes them 6 hours to do. They keep going up until it gets dark. Simon and Joe stop at a certain point. They would be taking a lot of risks if they kept going, so they dug a hole in the snow. When morning comes, the weather is nice, and they can see the way up better. They don't want to get stuck because they know they can't get down from where they climbed. From the west face to the north ridge, Simon and Joe seem to be making progress. Even though they are tired, they don't want to stop. Now that they have reached the top, the real challenge begins. In fact, 80% of accidents happen on the way down. They thought it would be easy to get down the ridge, but it was actually quite hard. They didn't think it would be this dangerous. They get lost, and all they can see around them is white. Simon doesn't notice that he is walking on a pile of snow that sticks out. He trips and falls, and then snow and ice start to cover him up. Even so, he still finds the ridge. They thought earlier that they would be done by the end of the day, but as the sun sets, they are still there. Also, they run out of gas and can't melt the ice anymore. Joe's sure of himself. He climbs up a cliff and sticks the ice axe into the ice. When going up, you need to pay attention to how the ice axe sounds. He realizes that the sound is strange, so he can't use the cliff as a support. Joe falls again because he hits the ice. He hopes it's just a muscle strain, but it looks like he broke his leg. Joe is in so much pain that he can't even describe it. Joe sees that he is still at the top and that his leg is going to break. If you break your leg while alpinism, you're pretty much dead. When Simon goes to him, the rope breaks. Joe finds out that his bone is broken when he tries to get back on his feet. Simon knows what's going on when he looks into the eyes of the other climber. After that, they talk to each other. Joe tells Simon what's going on, and Simon wonders if he should go down alone if things get bad. Richard notices that something has happened and thinks that something has gone wrong. After talking about what to do, Simon decides not to leave his climbing partner. The alpinist's code says that you should never leave a friend behind, so Simon risks his own life to bring Joe along. Joe's pain gets worse, but they have to hurry down. Even though Joe is in pain, he has no other choice. Given the temperature, you would have to make a hole and let the water out, but the gas is no longer there. Joe thinks he's at the end, but all of a sudden, the slope gets steeper, and he starts to worry. He yells at Simon to stop, but he doesn't hear him. Simon sees that the weight on the rope has gotten bigger, but he doesn't know why. Joe has no chance of being saved. Simon keeps lowering him to the knot and pulls on the rope to tell him to lighten up, but nothing happens. Joe's only choice, given what's going on, is to climb the rope. He tries to stay as straight as he can, but he can't hold the rope because he can't feel his fingers anymore. Simon is cold all over, and he can't get warm while he's sitting like that. After that, to make things even worse, Joe's ID fell off. At that point, he's hopeless because he can't climb with just his hands. Simon's health isn't much better. His situation is getting worse and worse. As he walks, the seat he dug out of the snow falls apart. He remembers that he has a pocket knife in his backpack and cuts the rope with it. Joe slips on a patch of thin ice and falls into the dark. He can't believe he's still alive. Joe can't figure out how to get out, so he pulls on the rope to see if Simon is dead. The rope keeps going down until it gets to him. When he sees the other end, he knows it has been cut. Simon digs a hole to keep warm, but he can't stop thinking about Joe, which makes him feel bad. Joe thinks he is going to die there, but he is glad that Simon is still alive. He turns off the light on his helmet, but the crevasse looks scary, and the darkness is driving him crazy. After a while, he turns it back on and is so upset that he loses control. Joe called his friend's name early in the morning. While this is going on, Simon is getting ready to leave his hole. On the way down, he thinks about what happened the night before and sees the crevasse, which looks like it has no bottom at first. Both keep calling out to the other. Simon doesn't check the crevasse because he thinks his friend is dead and doesn't want to find out. Joe tries to climb up, but he can't because he only has one leg. Richard thinks they are both dead and that if they fell, they would have rolled down. Richard is wrong about how smooth the edge of the cliff is. Simon starts to walk down the glacier by himself. He is sure that he will die on the trip because it is so dangerous. Once he gets to the end of the cliff, he knows he is safe. Back to Joe, if he doesn't want to die there, he has to rappel down into the crevasse, with all the risks that comes with it. He's hoping that there's a way out. Staying there wouldn't have helped, so he goes ahead and rappels down, even though he's scared. He doesn't look down because the thought that there's nothing down there scares him. Simon feels physically dead because he is thirsty and can't stop thinking. Richard sees him at last. He looks horrible and can't find Joe, so he asks him where he went. The mountaineer tells Richard that he is dead and tells him everything in detail, but Richard doesn't judge him. Joe has climbed down about 25 meters from where he put the pit in, and he thinks he can see the bottom of the crevasse. Near him is a hill that goes up. When he looks further down, he sees a hole that lets light in. This is the way out he is looking for. As he crawls, he realizes that the snow is not solid. It is hollow underneath. If he breaks through it, he'll never get to the exit, but he doesn't have any other choice, so he keeps going. The pain is unbearable, and each time he falls, he almost passes out. He jumps out of the hole and is happy to see that it is a beautiful sunny day. He feels reborn. But when he looks at the glacier, he realizes that this isn't even the beginning and that he still has kilometers to go through dangerous terrain. He still has a lot of physical problems, and he is also very dehydrated. Still, Simon doesn't give up and decides to make goals for himself. He goes a certain distance in a certain amount of time. For example, Joe finds Simon's footsteps and thinks that they will help him stay away from the crevasses. The next day, it is bright and sunny, and Simon's footprints are no longer there. Joe crawls and sometimes stands on his good leg to see where he is going. There is a dangerous part with a lot of cracks. Richard wants to leave in the meantime, but Simon needs a few days to get his strength back and clear his mind. Joe is thirsty and the camp is still a long way away, so he leaves the things that aren't necessary. He can't crawl over the rocks, so the only way for him to get over them is to hop. He keeps going this way, but every step he takes, he falls. Even though he is facing huge and obvious problems, he doesn't give up because he is stubborn. Because Simon is sick, he and Richard decide to get ready to leave the next day. Joe, on the other hand, sleeps on the rocks. The next day, Joe finds water and drinks a lot of it. He starts to feel better right away. At one point, he sees footsteps and thinks that they belong to his friends. That night, Joe loses his mind. He no longer knows what he is doing. At one point, he smells something that makes him realize he is close to their tent. Joe tries to call Simon, but no one picks up. Richard wakes up to the sounds, but he thinks it's an animal. When Simon wakes up and hears it, he knows right away that Joe is calling him. He gets up and starts looking around until he finally finds his friend. It's hard to believe, but Joe is there in a state that makes him unrecognizable. Joe thanks Simon as they take him to the tent. Joe makes him feel better by saying that he would have cut that rope too. At last, all three of them can go home together. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more and hit the like button to help me out, and also leave a comment if you want me to explain your favorite film. Until next time, take care.